Skype is no longer functional. It's like, you assholes, I keep downloading it.
Okay. We're live. We might as well start because I didn't know I hit the button twice.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Hour, episode 29. I'm here, Stefanis Kokis, with Cody Tuttle, and we have Rob Sullivan this week. Mike Mijas is in the sky right now. I told him just be that douchebag and use the Wi-Fi on the plane to call in, but he wanted to be nice to the other passengers this time.
He's using his Wi-Fi to watch Netflix.
Yeah, porn or something.
Probably.
I don't know. Anyways, what's going on, guys? How's it?
No, he's not using it to talk to his wife.
Yeah, probably not. Sorry, Maria.
But you know she's not listening because
yeah, she hates everything jiu-jitsu related.
Every week she has to call down and say, "All right, it's time to get back up here. Shut the computer off." And
she works at the PNC Bank in Hubbard, where I live, and I went in there one time. Like, I used the ATM and it didn't spit out any money, so I brought the receipt. I'm like, "Hey, go check the camera." I didn't get any money out of it. She goes, "You're Mike's friend, right, Rob?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." I'm like, she's not going to give me my money now. Because I thought she hated me that much, but she didn't. That was nice of her.
I don't think she hates you as much as she hates the sport.
It was nice of her not to hold it against you.
Exactly.
So no, we always get, you know, the heads up that she's done with the show, so it's time to call it.
Yeah, that or Cody gets the heads up from Aaron that it's time to go watch Netflix.
That's right. She always tries to watch TV while I'm doing this and runs it just a little bit too loud. But she's not here today. She's on her way to a CE course tomorrow for I don't know, something on orthodontics. And somehow she managed to sign up for a CE course that's only for orthodontists. So she's feeling kind of dumb right now because she's going to be the only dentist there that does nothing with ortho. So I've got the house to myself. Mike's not here, so this is like a women's free show right now.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any time limit, but I don't know how long we're going to actually talk. There's been, what is that, new Keenan Cornelius video or two popped up this week?
I don't know. It depends on which one you're talking about. He's got this ongoing feud with AJ Agazarm on Twitter or Instagram or something. I don't know if either of you guys see that.
No, I saw the no-gi match. That's about it.
I'm ignorant to those social medias, but that sounds amazing match.
Yeah, so since you guys haven't seen it, basically what's going on is AJ kept posting a video. It was a match from like 2011 or 2010, and they were both purple belts. It must have been 2010 because Keenan said that he still wasn't any good when that match happened, and he's like, everybody that was any good beat me that year. So AJ kept posting this video of him beating Keenan, and Keenan kind of got like pissed off and slapped the mat at the end of the match. So Keenan kind of finally got tired of it, and he put together like a little highlight video of everybody choking the shit out of AJ, and him going to sleep a couple times. So, you know, he posted that, and then I guess AJ lost to a guy from Atos at the American Nationals this weekend, and Keenan got gold in the absolute, and AJ said something about Keenan paying off the ref. So they're going back and forth on Instagram. It's worth checking out the video that Keenan made. He's a pretty funny guy. He does some funny shit.
It sounds great. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. So they posted, while we were at the AGC, I think they posted all the team standings for that competition too, the American one. Mm-hmm. And it was just like Cyborg and Andre Galvao in every single one. So
yeah, Atos got second overall in both the gi and the no gi, and then Gracie Baja got first in the gi and no gi. That was another thing. Keenan said something about how Gracie Baja won because they had so many competitors. And, I mean, admittedly, they have the biggest team. You know, they've got a ton of affiliates, and Atos is a relatively small team without a ton of affiliates. So they got kind of chippy with that as well. But, I mean, they both did well.
Yeah, you can't do much about numbers.
That's how it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Whoever brings the most.
You see that at the local level. You see that at the international level.
Yeah.
Well, the big time.
Wrecking crew usually shows up to Naga with like 40 kids or something, like a whole
Yeah.
2 classrooms worth or something. So a lot of parents out there were mad at us because we didn't get to do the children's portion of the
Sorry.
Steel City Grappling Challenge.
Sorry, parents. It was a long day. It
It
really
was.
was.
Really?
If we started around, well, I got there at 11. I left at about 5:30. I lost my voice by the end. Driving home, I had a sore throat for like 2 days. If we had done the kids matches, I really don't know that I would have been able to make it to the end of the day.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just set up a camera in the future, but still that means we'd have to get there about. I know my coach, who spent the entire day reffing on mat number 2, Justin Hastings, texted me at about 5:45 and said he was leaving. I don't think that I could have done that myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I live like 20 minutes away from the venue, and I still got there around like 11 something. Maybe next time if we do another one, if you guys want the children's, if I can find the volunteers that'll get up with me, because I already have a hard enough time finding people to work a camera for 5 or 6 hours. I can get there early and find, maybe Dan Farrell or someone else that shows up that works with the kids to commentate. But we'll try to get a camera there.
I guess the question is, are the parents
that'd be
going
cool.
to pay us? Are the parents going to pay us?
How much are you willing to pay for your kid to be talked over?
For getting there at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
And setting everything up for an hour. And then being at the tournament.
I bet you some parents would do it.
Probably.
They probably would too.
I almost guarantee you parents would do that. Are you kidding me?
I really don't want them
Oh,
to
they
pay
absolutely. I think they would.
Because they probably would,
Oh.
but I don't want them to pay us, because that would mean that we're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And I would feel like too much pressure. That'd be too much pressure for me, honestly. That's why we don't like take money right now for doing this stuff. So
yeah, because all of Mike's ramblings at the end of the show, if anybody watched it, we would have had to cut that if people were actually paying for that.
Yeah, we'd have to clean it up a little bit. Mike would have to learn people's names.
No, we're not gonna do. We did pretty good with names. Since it was Pittsburgh, and I'm pretty familiar with most of the competitors.
Mm-hmm.
We did really good with names, aside from Taekwondo guy, and I think there was Armbar Man. There was Armbar Man and Muscles Glasses. I think that was it. Other than that, I called everybody by their name.
Hollywood, the big guy.
I don't remember Hollywood.
The big guy he might have been Muscles Glasses. He was the one on the side of the mat. He was ripped, like yelling.
All I remember is Muscles Glasses.
I don't know. That might have been him.
No. I'm sorry, you guys. My name's Rob Sullivan. That was funny, right?
Rob, how many matches did you have on Saturday?
I think I had 10.
That's a lot of matches.
Yeah,
10.
actually, one of the things. I have a couple more minutes, and then I kind of got to go because I promised my dad I'd be over, help him do something. But one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys were, what's your take on eating and drinking during competitions? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've always, like, I'm finally starting to catch on to it where during a competition, I'll get there in the morning and eat something when I leave my house. And most of the tournaments are 2 hours away. So, I haven't eaten for 2 hours when I get there, and then the nerves start pumping and you're like, oh, you're just such an adrenaline rush all day long. I find myself eating like an apple and a banana. Oh, I find myself eating maybe an apple and a banana in an 8-hour period. I need to start making a timeline of stuff that I have, like times I have to eat. And you guys ever run into that?
No, I always, something I do the night before every tournament, and I haven't competed in almost a year now, so it's been a while since I've done this, and probably forgetting some stuff. But I always go to the grocery store the night before and buy some stuff. I always bring some Cliff Bars and some bananas. Those are things that I always bring. I bring some coconut water. I don't know why. That sounds cool. Makes me feel cool. A couple Gatorades. What else? I'm forgetting some stuff, but I always pack a bunch of food because I know it's going to be a long day, and if I don't eat from the beginning of the tournament to the end of the tournament, then I feel like it's going to affect me in a negative way. Another thing that I would do is like they have like these like gel energy bites that are basically just like a bunch of sugar, and they're like, I don't know if they're like Power Bar like gel bites or like Gatorade. I think Gatorade makes them. They're like Gatorade Prime.
Yeah, Gatorade makes some. Another company started making them too.
Yeah, so I would usually bring those too, and I think the instructions were like consume them like 30 minutes prior to athletic activity or something like that. And I would always do that. I really don't know why. I've seen Dan Swift drinking like pop, like a 2 liter.
I mean, let's be honest here. We don't really want to
This is
take
Dan
advice
Swift.
from Dan Swift. Yeah, I mean, come on.
You know, Noah. I've seen Noah DeVore do it too. Both of them. They.
All right, Noah DeVore. He's a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
He's a little bit different than Dan Swift.
I saw Dan Swift bust out like a
I hope Dan hears this.
And well, I heard that you're gonna have to compete against him for like $10,000 in Edinburgh.
That's fine. I'll take his money. I don't care. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's an unofficial super fight that the BJJ Hour is setting up at someone else's competition. That's exactly what's going on.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, he did mention it. I added the $10,000 part, but I heard you guys are going to compete against each other again in that submission only in Edinburgh on the 22nd of November.
That'd be cool. Well, yeah. That'd be the rubber match. We're 2 for 2, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
So
it's always fun to see.
I got no problem embarrassing him. I'm fine with that.
I mean, you went up a belt level, but he tapped like 3 black belts this past weekend. So
yeah, he was a monster this weekend. I couldn't. Every match I watched from him, he was precise, and I'll tell you what. I hope I'm competing like that when I'm 39.
You've been doing pretty well. Every time I see you, you look like you've gotten like a lot better, like miles better.
You know, right when he hit that rolling toe hold on Darren, I was about to say, Darren better watch his foot, because Dan always goes for that rolling toe hold from like an uncontrolled De La Hiva. And
you know what's funny?
I was about to start saying it, and he just jumped on it too quickly. I was like, shit.
You know what's funny? Dan went for the same move on me in Slippery Rock.
Dan went for the same move on me in Slippery Rock.
But
in 2012.
Really?
Yeah.
He wasn't quite as tight as he was on Darren on me, and I didn't notice it until it was too late. But then I was like, oh, I can slip out of this. Yeah. But when I saw him hit it on Darren, it put a little check mark in the back of my mind and said, you better watch out for that next time, because you got lucky when you got out of that.
See, with me it was no-gi.
That thing was tight.
Yeah, with me it was no-gi, and I knew it was coming because a friend of mine had told me, watch out, he does a rolling toe hold from like he'll jump on it from like open guard or De La Hiva. So like the second my foot was up in the air, like I was almost like baiting it so I could use it to get on top, and that's kind of what I did. But you know, in this match with Darren, like he locked it on super tight, and it was tight before the roll. And when he rolled, it didn't get any looser at all. And even, he even tightened it up with his legs. So that was, it was pretty nasty.
I had never seen that before Saturday. And it was like surprising.
It's pretty awesome. Footlocks from everywhere.
That's what you guys, you dirty purple belts.
Yeah, dirty footlock.
Dirty Mihas people.
Yeah.
Blame him. He's the one that taught him. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Teaches every Thursday, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes he feels like
he'll have like a Tuesday, he'll have a Thursday, sometimes he just comes over and shows me footlocks. But
I heard you hit that inverted counter footlock on him.
Oh yeah, when did I get that? It
was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, we were doing leg locks. Oh, and he was teaching the class, and he goes, all right, we're just going for leg locks. I got him in one. And I'm like, how bad do you feel right now? You got to feel horrible. Said the teacher has become the student and gave him a crotch chop.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So was there anything else? Like, how about that the Taekwondo guy?
Yeah. I don't think we could have a show tonight without talking about that guy.
Yeah, that warrants talking. I mean, we beat it to death on the page, but still.
I don't know, man.
Ooh.
He even signed up for Nogi.
I got to bail.
All right, man.
All right, Rob.
Time has expired. I've got to run.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. I had a pleasure talking, and I'll listen to the rest tomorrow when you guys put it up.
Yep, we'll get it there. I'll see you.
You did a great job filling in for Mike.
Yep.
Thanks. I try. All right, bye.
Yeah. So he signed up for no gi too. I noticed that when I was looking at the video, I just saw he was out of his gi waiting. I was like,
I think that's something that not a lot of people realize is that he signed up for the no gi division. Now he didn't do advanced, he did intermediate, which is probably a much better fit for the guy. But like, I mean, I kind of feel bad for him because he bought into whatever. He said he was a Tai Chi black belt and like a Taekwondo black belt, and he did a lot of grappling. So, he spent time doing something that somebody sold him on, and he believes that is effective. And I kind of feel bad that he's, basically wasted his time.
Yeah, he looked surprised not when he lost, but when he was like watching. Like I feel like the more he watched, the more he realized like, I really don't understand what's going on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He might be listening right now, and we're just completely off base of it. But that's just the look that like I recognized from him.
Yeah, it was pretty ballsy though. I mean, I think everybody tried to talk him out of it. I'm sure Dustin suggested that he enter a different division. I'm really happy that Dustin matched him up with Cam Knight though, because like we said in the broadcast, he was probably the only guy in the division that was just going to take it easy on him.
Yeah, probably.
And even though Cam choked him unconscious, he did it in the nicest way possible. Dan would have like broken his fingers,
or like, destroyed his knees or something.
Yeah,
like...
he would have. Dan would have done something like really mean. And one time I grappled against a karate black belt he entered the purple belt division because he was a karate black belt. He was probably like close to 300 pounds. And I tried to wrist lock him. Well, I did wrist lock him, but when I wrist locked him, I tried to break his wrist. Like,
good job.
I had a Kimura from on top, and I switched to a wrist lock, and I lost the wrist lock, and I went back, and I tried the wrist lock again, and I touched his fingers like to his forearm, and I was really trying to break it. And like now looking back, that I'm really glad that didn't happen. Probably was like a really shitty thing for me to try to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a good ambassadorial move to the sport.
It was a pretty shitty thing to do. At the time, it seemed like a great idea, but looking back, I'm really glad that I switched back to the Kimura and didn't try to break his wrist. It's on YouTube. I didn't post the video. Somebody else posted the video, so like I couldn't even like take it down or edit it or hide that shit. So
comment. That's about it.
And it's out there, me being like a huge dick. So
it's all right. That's the past.
It's a learning experience.
Definitely.
Next time it happens, I'll try and be more like Cam Knight and just try and teach them in a nice way instead of being a huge asshole.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it inspired him to seek out real jiu-jitsu or real grappling.
I don't think, because that was actually the second time that he had entered the purple belt division. He did the it was in Charleston, West Virginia, and he had done a tournament like three months prior, and he actually beat a purple belt 3 months before that. It was probably like 2 times as big as the guy, but he beat a purple belt and then lost to another purple belt. So I don't know if he learned or not, but I don't think I should be the one to teach him.
Yeah, definitely. So we saw there was I didn't really see any leg locks or ankle locks or anything last weekend. Like,
I didn't see a lot either. There were a couple, and it was right as we were talking about leg locks. A couple got finished, but it definitely wasn't the move of the day. There in the gi division, there were a ton of collar chokes.
Yeah, cross collar is crazy.
Collar chokes. Yeah, that's not a move that I see very often in competition, just because it's guys are pretty good at defending it. It's a tough move to really force on because everybody, for the most part, is aware of it. We've been to tournaments and we've seen. There have been days when we see a ton of footlocks. There have been days where we see a ton of rear naked chokes. But is I I don't think we've been to one lately where it was a lot of cross collar chokes with the gi. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Like, and, I talked to Kathy Farrell. She entered the women's blue belt. Me and Mike trained with her at Next Level, and she said that her and her husband Mark went to Naga in Virginia, and the competition there was definitely nowhere near as high level as it was this past weekend.
Well, that's good. When was the Naga that they went to? Do you remember?
Last month or something, about
Okay.
a month ago, I think. And
So that was pretty recent then.
yeah, and she said that next year, if they do better at something like this around here, where the similar competition shows up, they should be able to destroy at Naga. Which I don't blame them for believing that. Like, we have, like, this is the whole point of like the show, to highlight the skill around here, and we're getting that out there. There's a lot of really really good people, and I think competitions like this like really show it.
Yeah, I think Dustin did a pretty good job of attracting some high level talent. I don't know if it was the cash prizes that he was putting out for all the color belt absolute divisions, or if it was just like the name recognition of the AGC, because it's a pretty big name, especially around here. You get outside the area and you're not really too familiar with it, but around here it's definitely one of the biggest, more prestigious events that you can win. So, you show up expecting tough matches. But all the absolute cash divisions were tough. Rob had a ton of matches. He did three divisions, and he wasn't in a bracket that had less than 8 guys. He had 3 purple belt matches, 3 advanced nogi matches, and there were probably 10, 12, 16 purple belts in that absolute division, because I know the 2 finalists, they both had 4 matches. So I mean that's a big day right there.
Oh yeah, definitely long. Some guys only rolled 2 or 3 times at practice, and they practice multiple times a week. You go to a competition, you roll 10 times. That's pretty good.
That's a tough day, that's for sure. And you really you don't always get 10 matches in. Especially if you're not winning all of them. So 10 matches is a lot in one day.
Yeah, usually since I'm in the heavyweight division or the higher weight levels, I get like 2 matches, maybe 3.
Yeah, well, even me, like, I'm around 200 pounds. I feel like unless you're right around 170 pounds or like 155, like 155, 170 is right in the middle of that bell curve.
Yeah,
If you get any further out than that, it starts to drop a lot. So, if there are 4 people in my division, I feel like that's a pretty good turnout. So I really haven't had a day where I've had 10 matches. I don't think really ever. There have been days when I've had like 8. I think 8's the most I've ever had. Rob had 10, and he made it sound like it was no big deal.
yeah. And usually when you compete, you get Brian Cowan and Mike Mijas in the Nogi,
Yeah,
so
right.
you gotta deal with them. Among, like, there's a couple other guys too out there. So there was one I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it was. Oh, Matt Factory cleaned up.
Oh yeah.
They did super well. They just, and thank Isaac Greeley. Really, none of the Steel City grappling challenge would have been possible without his help, from what
Yeah.
Dustin told us. So
Big shout out to Isaac and the Matt Factory. His student Chris Dempsey won the absolute no-gi cash prize division in a pretty devastating fashion. I think he used the same move on everybody. I think
the cement mixer.
Yeah, the cement mixer. He used that on me once, and it was pretty awful.
It looks like a modified Darce or something.
It's like a guillotine type neck crank deal.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's pretty terrible, and it looked terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Nah.
Yeah.
I saw. According to Isaac, he does Demps Jutsu.
Yeah. I
So-
remember him saying that. He's just like his own. He just does his own stuff, like a mix of like wrestling and submission stuff, and they just call it Demps Jitsu because it works for him. And really, like, as you train, you basically find what works for you. So, he's had a ton of experience from wrestling, and I read somewhere, or I saw in an interview that he used to wrestle in college at like heavyweight, at like some like insane weight, like 280 or 270 or something like that, which is crazy looking at him now because he fights at 185. So to just imagine the guy competing at 280 pounds. He's got to be super strong.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because of the and he's got a ton of experience. He's basically has a lifetime of wrestling experience, and then you add some jiu-jitsu on top of it, and it's not very difficult to come up with a way to submit your opponent when you have that huge skill level behind you.
Definitely not. And you've seen a lot at that point, especially with competitions and anything from MMA to wrestling to jiu-jitsu competitions. He's probably seen at this point, even though he's between our age or something like that.
Yeah, I don't really know how old he is. I think he's probably somewhere in his mid to late 20s, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. So
yeah. So I mean, I even saw him like fight out of a couple pretty deep like knee bar and leg lock attempts in an MMA fight. So he's even well versed with the lower body attacks that he was able to escape, and he eventually won that fight. I think I was judging that in Morgantown a couple years ago. So, but yeah, testament to Isaac's skill, not only as a competitor because he did pretty well, but as a coach.
Yeah, I didn't see that match. I didn't get to see all the match. Isaac versus Dan.
It's on one of those cameras somewhere.
Yeah, it's part of the. It's like there's 30 minutes of footage of it. Someone didn't hit stop recording, but it's there.
That was me.
Yeah, it's there.
And that was you missed it. I was holding up the camera by the bottom of the tripod, and I was holding our webcam, aiming at a different mat, and I think I was commentating all at the same time.
Well, hopefully we can figure out something where we can have a bunch of cameras, and if you guys want split screen, we can do that. Because at the end there, you guys kept asking me, like, get this one, and I'm just like, oh, man.
Well, towards the end, like, it got kind of sloppy, I think, because, there were a lot of things going on at once. In the beginning, it was pretty easy to pick and choose what we wanted because there was, like, one good thing going on, and it was right in front of us. But near the end, like, there were too many good things going on all at once to pick just one. So I was having trouble for sure trying to
figure out what we wanted on.
Yeah, I was telling John, the cameraman, one thing. I was telling you another thing, and I'd look up at the screen and
you wouldn't know what was going on.
I didn't even remember what I told each of you to do.
Yeah.
So
I think
split screen and the hot cam.
Yeah.
For our next one, which will be November 15th in Morgantown. It's going to be a submission only. The Ground Zero team is putting on another submission only tournament. We were down there for one in May. We've got that one live on YouTube if you want to check that out. But there will be more information coming out about that.
Is that going to be at the mall?
It'll be at the mall.
All right.
The Zombie Mall.
Yeah. Anything else competitions wise coming up?
Yeah, actually, there's 2 weeks in a row. November 22nd, Edinburgh is having their Mission to Submission 4. I think we'll be up there as well, hopefully. I think that's in the cards. And then the same day as the Ground Zero tournament over in Columbus is the HGC State Championships. So there's something in Columbus on the 15th of November. There's something in Morgantown, West Virginia on the 15th of November. So if you prefer the submission only format, head to West Virginia. If you're closer to Columbus and you like points tournaments, both are good. Head to the AGC. That'll be a tough one to pick if you're somewhere in the middle. And we also have the Western PA Grappling Championships on October 25th. That's run by Sonny Achille. I believe it's the 7th or 8th year that they've been putting that on. Follows the IBJJF rule format, and that's a pretty good turnout too. I believe he cuts it off at 300 competitors, and they always have a pretty big turnout for his tournament.
No, there's the Ohio Combat Sports 4th anniversary cookout and seminar with Cam Cam Knight.
That's right.
It's a Saturday.
That's this coming Saturday at Dustin's gym. It's his 4th anniversary. He had a couple guest instructors lined up. I know Cam Knight was one of them. If you didn't watch the live stream, head to our YouTube channel and just check out some of Cam Knight's matches. The kid is truly a phenom, and not just for around here. I believe he could hang with, with any black belt from any big city in the country. And we're lucky enough to have him around here. And Jason Butcher, another George Gurgel black belt and Bellator veteran. He's the other guest instructor. I believe John Stutzman had a scheduling conflict. So it's Cam Knight, Jason Butcher, and I think there's a third guy, but I can't remember who that would be off the top of my head. But those first 2 names should be enough to get your attention. And I think it's free. So that's
looks like it.
That's really the best part.
And then we have the highest stand. It's in New York, Fredonia, New York. I went to that one year. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool. Lots of good competition up there, from what I remember. If go at least to compete for a medal, if you can get a medal, because the medals are like you can kill somebody with those things.
Well, I went to the highest end as well, and he does a couple different things with that highest end. Like depending on what month it is, like the fall highest end is different than the spring highest end, and the fall highest end has the cooler medals. So they look like eagles or something, aren't they? They're like,
yeah. I'd go grab mine, but it's tangled up with a bunch of other medals.
Yeah, it's like a crazy like eagle thing. But yeah, the highest end rules are pretty cool. I went up there in like I think it was like April of 2013. It's a pretty weird set of rules. Very unique. Slams are allowed. If you're in the guard, if you're in somebody's close guard, you can stand up and then slam them. As a way to open up the guard. Heel hooks are legal in the gi. That was cool because I capitalized on that a lot.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. Oh, and I hurt myself doing it. So imagine that. I think I've hurt myself more than I've hurt other people doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
He does 3 rounds too. The first round is
right.
No points. Second round is points, and third round is whoever gets the first takedown.
Yeah. So if you only go to the third round if it's a tie after the second round, and I believe it's 2 3-minute periods. So
yeah, I feel like 3 minutes is too short. You like some people think it's long. That 3 minutes goes by really quick.
It was pretty short. And in the finals, I had to go up against a judo black belt, and I knew that I did not want it to go to period 3. So
yeah, third round.
I was really intent on finishing it in the first 3-minute period. That's the other interesting thing about the tournament is because of the rules, it attracts kind of like a wide variety of grappling styles. It's not just like a strict Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition. There's a lot of judo guys. There's a lot of like
Sambo guys.
And guys that do like karate and grapple a lot, kind of like our friend from Saturday. But they all seem to be a little bit more experienced than he was, and then a lot of wrestlers. That is the one thing that the rules kind of cater to a wrestler. If they can basically stall you out for 6 minutes, then they got a chance to beat you in the sudden death takedown round. But that can happen anywhere. You can lose on 2 points at any tournament.
What does Gokor Chivachian practice? Does he do jiu-jitsu?
He is a sambo guy.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is right there. Judo, sambo, and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Gokor is like Carl Parisian and like Ronda Rousey and Manny Gamburian. Those guys. He's a badass.
Yeah, they usually have a seminar up there with him on Sunday.
He goes to all the events up there. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me see. I think that's all we have to really talk about this week. Yeah.
So, thanks for checking out the live event. We were happy to put it on for you guys. Sorry to all the parents that were looking for the live stream of the kids. At some point we'll try, but finding a couple volunteers for the cameras for the the entire day without pay is tough at times, and just being there for that long is kind of demanding to the schedule. I know I felt pretty sick after I was done just from talking all day. So at some point we may be able to pull it off. It may take us a while, but it's something that we're always striving for. We want to make it better every single time. Eventually, that'll be the next step to make it better, is broadcast the whole thing, including the kids.
Yep.
So that's something we'll work on for the future. Check out the upcoming events that we just talked about. The Steel City, Western PA, Morgantown, AGC on November 15th, Edinburgh on the 22nd, the highest in tournament. Thanks to our sponsors from this Saturday, VHTS brand out of New York, very hard to submit, and Fuji Sports. Check out our YouTube page for all the jiu-jitsu matches that we recorded. We're putting them up on the website, on the YouTube page, posting them on Facebook, naming all the competitors because we actually know their names.
Yeah. I just threw them up there so people. I threw them up there so people can watch them, but we're gonna be putting names on them as the week goes by. So, and we have more from the other camera as well that didn't usually make it onto the stream, but we got those matches, so those are coming too.
So there's a lot of stuff coming. So keep checking back, and give us some feedback. Let us know what you think of the matches. Let us know what you thought of the stream, and we'll keep making it better for you. So we'll see you guys next week with all three of us.
Yep. Hopefully Mike won't be in the air somewhere. So watching porn. All right. Have a good night. Have a good week, guys.